Peeps. We are at Digimarcon here in the great state of Texas, deep in the heart of Dallas. I'm here with Mike Letchin of Brevo.
Bravo.
Brevo, like Bravo.
It is the new Bravo.
It is the new Bravo. He spoke earlier today, and I believe it was one of my favorite speakers. Actually, I really enjoyed it. And a little bit about Brevo, and maybe dig deep and figure out what's going on with Mike's too.
Yeah, it's a new platform for a lot of people here in the States for sure. We're actually based in Paris, is where the company is founded. It's where a large portion of our company is. It's also where the large portion of our revenue right now is. So we're just breaking the U.S. market as an approachable CRM. And when I say approachable, a lot of people are like, what's that mean? What do you mean by the idea is we want to be able to have a small to medium into the small enterprise, look at how can I have my marketing, my sales platform, manage my sales pipeline, manage my contacts, manage my email nurture campaigns, and do it without having to have that premium of a consultant that's going to come in for 2 weeks and it's going to charge you up the wazoo. How can I build out emails? How can I make it simpler? And we try to tie that all into one platform. So that's really what Brevo is all about, is making things approachable for that small and medium, making it something that everyone can use and truly grow their business.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of little guys out there. I know some of the other platforms out there, and they're the little guy can't afford those things.
No, not at all.
So what was the what sparked that? Why was that decided as, you know what, this is where we need to be?
So we actually started as a company called Send in Blue. So Send in Blue, we're about a dozen years old. Originally, we were doing email newsletters.
Okay.
So with email newsletters, it was a lot of how much can we send, how quickly can we send, who can we send emails to, what's the baseline, and started in some in India and as well as then in France. Worked with a company that was doing email newsletters in Germany, combined forces with them, and became the largest email newsletter company in Europe.
Wow.
Originally, and then started looking at what other pieces really made sense. What things were needed. It became marketing automation became one. How can we do things with messaging APIs? So how can we tie into an e-commerce solution? And I want to be able to send those emails out for every time somebody leaves something in the cart. That isn't really built into the platform, but the amount of revenue I can increase if I can just get those people I get half the people that leave something in my cart. I can double my revenue for some of these e-commerce companies. So how do we put all that together? And then when we started looking at those customers, what else did they need? And it was capability of making meeting planning easier, making a sales pipeline easier. And all of that really ties together into one space so easily. So we did some acquisitions over the last few years. And about 6 months ago, did a rebranding from Send in Blue to Brevo. And then started really looking at how do we expand into other markets? We're pretty heavy already in we're Centaur in France. So at $100 million of ARR a year, that's a substantial number of customers. Over 500,000 customers active on the platform today. A big portion are actually with our freemium model. Wow. We've got a ton of the yoga instructor that doesn't really need anything but to be able to send out emails. But then we also have an enterprise platform that allows one person to have multiple sub-accounts underneath. We were talking earlier, and I used the example in my session. It was a school district that has 8 schools. I don't want to send the same message to Timmy's mom that's at school 1 and Joey's mom at school 2. I need to be able to kind of have different setup, different tie set. Send them text messages to, hey, remember the fall festival is coming up this weekend, kind of thing. Make sure you invite people in your neighborhood. We're doing it as a fundraiser for the PTA or whatever it is. Those businesses are what really built us. And as those have grown, we've grown with them. And now it's been getting into North America and growing the North American space and getting our name out.
Yeah, I love it. Speaking of the name, what's the origin of the name Brevo?
So you know what? I asked our CEO that because I was sitting with him and I said, it's kind of a weird name. It's and his comment was, it's easy to say in multiple languages and has that feeling of Bravo. It's something that's big. It's something that's bold. It's something that makes people feel good. And Brevo, you say it in English, you say it in French, you say it in German. it's still Brevo.
Huh.
And that was a big portion because we are a global company at this point that we needed to have something that said the same thing everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can see somebody now going. They're going to Chat GPT right now. They're like, "Give me a name for a company that could be said in any language everywhere."
And I'm sure that there was some work there because with all the AI today that we deal with, I have no doubt. But yeah, Armand, because I had the same reaction. So I've been with the company for a few months now, and when I came over, I was like, "Brevo, how was that?" But then again, I worked for a company a few companies back. And I asked the CEO there, same type question, how'd you come up with the name? And he said they have a very easy strategy when they pick names for the company. He'd sit with his business partners, and their rules were it had to be a conglomeration of 2 or 3 of the things the company did.
Okay.
It could not be in the English language.
Okay.
Like it couldn't be a word you could look up in the dictionary. The URL had to be available. The .com had to be available. And the 4th major requirement was his wife had to approve it.
Well, of course. I always tell people too, like using my presentation, that all our, I'm talking about stories, right? That all our purchases are made emotionally, and then we rationalize them with made-up facts to our wives.
I had to present. We had a team get together recently, and I got asked to MC the award ceremony. So our company colors are green,
right,
for everything, green and white kind of thing. And I'm emceeing an award ceremony, so it's always a little over top. So I found a green and black paisley tuxedo jacket.
Nice.
That I wore for it, to which my wife found out about it, and her exact words were, "I was not consulted on this fashion purchase."
Yes, I understand that one too. That's not just a price issue. That's a whole, like, I have to be seen with you.
Yeah. I was like, "Hon, it's supposed to be over the top." She's like, "Well, it's over the top."
Yeah. And when you're done, it's over.
Yeah.
First time at Digimarcon?
It is. It is. I came from the infrastructure space, primarily, my background. So I did a lot in data center, data security, data storage for quite a while. So this is a new space that, for me to get into, a lot more of kind of the marketing side of things, and it's been fun. I was already in marketing before with previous companies, but not so much we were selling the MarTech stack.
How's the event been?
It is probably a little bit smaller than I expected. But overall, the sessions have been great. I got to sit in a few of the sessions. Obviously, presenting, I really enjoyed yours. I sat through yours. Gentleman right after did some more on AI and SEO. That was always interesting to just hear the different input, especially when we're talking about a topic that hot. And then a good number of vendors to kind of talk through, see like what they're doing. I know BigCommerce is down there. Talk to them to kind of see they're not an e-commerce platform that we have some integration, but it's not one I personally have done much with.
Yeah, I get that.
And then definitely some consulting. Some of the people that have come in, it's been everybody from state and local governments, and not just thinking we're in Dallas, not just Texas. I would talk to a woman that was from Ohio that dealt with the college savings plan. I'm like, why are you in Dallas? But there's from there to other tech entrepreneurs to mid-sized companies that are looking for ways to just look for their departments to grow. So it's a good kind of balance of everything from some real small startups and people starting all the way up through kind of the low enterprise. I think.
Yeah, that's what it is. A good mix. I used to think it as a conference planner. Like, I would think this would be like a nightmare personally, because you're not it's not a social media conference. It's not inbound. It's not, it's digital marketing. That's so huge.
Yeah. And how do you get the people to know what you're going to talk about?
Right. And how do you get people that the schedule's going to everybody's going to, there's parts where somebody's going to be like, I don't deal with this at all. Right. And
and I assumed this morning we would have hardly anybody in the crowd. Judging by the horns honking last night and the people celebrating the Rangers World Series win last night,
I was very happy.
I was surprised we had as many people in the crowd.
Fingers crossed, because tomorrow's the parade.
Yeah. So I went through that. I live in D.C., so we went through that when the Nationals won the series a few years back. So it was kind of fun being in another city, because Nationals won on the road as well. So I was with friends. We were at National Stadium for when they won, and we're at the viewing party. So it was kind of fun being in the city again. Yeah. With the same thing, even if it wasn't my team, just kind of feeling the vibe, feeling the atmosphere. So I was curious to see, because I know I was not necessarily up for doing much the next morning after that celebration.
Right. No, I can imagine. We were out on the street when they all started going crazy.
Yeah.
So actually, Ryan, who spoke after you.
Yeah.
He and I had gone out that night. So, well, man, I appreciate Mike hanging out with us, and we'll see you around the rest of the event.
Sounds good. Thank
All
you. I
right.
appreciate it.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Anytime.